So today we're going to take a look at the most Weeaboo OS out there. This is for all the weebs. This is Ubuntu. This is the Leodango version. Ubuntu is a version of the Ubuntu operating system, and that is such a cool name for the anime version, or the anime inspired version of this operating system. Ubuntu is a version of Linux based on, I believe, Debian, and this version here is pretty cool. As you can see, this is based on what I think it's using the Budgie environment, which is a very cool operating system, and this version of the operating system comes with like applications that they consider that any weeb out there would want to use. So I think first of all we're going to go through the software, and in our accessories we don't really have much that's useful. We have just like the stuff you'd expect in here, just some of the usual tools like a calculator, disk utility, file system. We also comes with some games, some 2048, some Minesweeper ripoff, some nibbles, and it also comes with Steam pre-installed so you can play some Steam games. We'll have a look at that in a bit. It also comes with some graphic stuff as well. This is mainly just some drawing and like document viewing utilities. No GIMP installed, which I'm surprised by, but maybe there's a reason for that. It does also come with Discord, and I'm going to show you something with Discord in a bit. It comes with some torrenting clients as well as like Firefox. It also comes with some ebook viewers, which are pretty cool, because that's going to allow you to read your manga, comics, everything like that, as well as maybe write some stuff up with the LibreOffice. LibreOffice is pretty standard when it comes to all versions of like Ubuntu. There's not really a version of Linux that I've personally used where I haven't seen LibreOffice installed. Next we have our sound and video. We have some stuff for watching movies as well as Spotify. I've installed OBS, that's how you're watching this video now, so I apologise for any stuttering that may happen with this video, but that's why. Next is our system tools, and this is a bit more of the nerdy stuff in here. But one thing to note in here that I really like is this Kitty terminal. I love this application. So as I said before, like the desktop and everything's controlled by like what they call Budgie, and this is the settings for that here. As you can see, we can like change our wallpapers and stuff. Oh, not in that one. It's in the next one. You see here, these are the different wallpapers. Tons of like Japanese inspired wallpapers, which I really like. Plus their own. I'm not really sure what the point in these dogs is, or whose dog this is. Maybe this is Leodango, I have no idea, but there's some cool different wallpapers that you can use in here. So as this cat one. I think for the purpose of this video I'm just going to go with like a nice Japanese one, really increase the vibes, or maybe we'll go with this XP one. Yeah, we'll go with the XP one. But as well as in here there is also the software center. A lot of misconceptions with Linux is that it's all command line. And while yeah, that's true, the terminal is a powerful tool within Linux. You also have this software tool here, or software repository as they're called, and it comes with different stuff here you can install. As you can see here on the front page, got things like the Brave browsers, an Xbox emulator. There's some sort of thing for Twitter. There's even a thing here to control your Elgato Stream Deck through Linux. And there's all sorts of different games and things that you can choose from. Sometimes this is a bit slower than you'd expect, but this is partially because it's through Linux, and obviously the services aren't as supported as something like maybe like the Mac App Store, the Microsoft Windows Store. But you can definitely search and things like that. Also, the computer I'm using this on isn't the newest. It's probably like 10 years old at this point, but that's one of the other great things about using an operating system like this, is that you can repurpose old hardware, because Linux doesn't actually use as many system resources as something like maybe like Windows would. So as you can see here, even while recording on this old i3 quad-core, we're not even coming close to even 50% in on the cores. And we've only got 4 GB of RAM in this system. So as you can see, it's only using 2.1 at the moment. We are using an SSD. It's just a cheap 128 gig SATA SSD. But one of the cool things about this version, or like the types of Linux now, when it comes to updating things, it's not always hard. As you can see here, we have to update our Discord here. and if we just click download, it's just going to download this for us, and I'll get back to you when this is downloaded. So now it's downloaded, all we have to do is just click software install. This is partly thanks to that software utility that we have, and it's going to load it into here, and all we'd have to do is click open. As you can see here, we're now running Discord natively on this Linux operating system, and that's pretty cool because it's one of the applications I think people would want to use this system for. Just the Discord client. We can also use Steam, as I showed before. We have the Steam icon. We can also run it. And here I already have 2 games installed. Like I said, I've used this operating system for a few hours, and I'm going to show you guys the different things in it. As you can also see, maybe see in the bottom right hand corner, our Discord client is still open. We can also quit it as well if we want, but it sits there idle in the bottom. So we have a couple of games installed. This particular computer doesn't have the most GPU, it is only like an iGPU built into it, so this game may look a little bit laggy. I'll find out editing how it looks. But as you can see here, we have this game installed and we can go ahead and play it. There is actually a decent amount of like Linux support now for games on Steam. It's not like 1-to-1, but if we go ahead in my Steam library here and I just toggle off the penguin a second, you can see here that I have 183 games in my Steam library. If I toggle on the Linux, you'll see that 76 of those actually work natively in Linux. And I feel like that's a pretty good amount, and they just work from here. So there's no having to install. You can also go and play things like your favourite visual novels and things like that natively in Steam, and I think that's pretty cool. Of course, what you can play on Steam depends on the hardware of your machine, hence why we can't necessarily play the best games on here. We have options. So one of the other cool things about the was the ebook reading system on this operating system. We're going to use the Calibri one, or however you say it, because these other ones, the ebook viewer, just wasn't really working for me. I think that may be like an extension of this Calibri one, but either way, that wasn't working for me, but this one works fine. As you can see here, we have the first volume of Do Not Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, and if we open it, you're going to see that the PDFs in this program don't really work the best. The best format, if you're downloading, like if you've got something that you can download, is actually CBZ. So we have this comic here in the CBZ format, and it even keeps track of where you are. It loads up dead quick, and it's dead fast and responsive. I don't know why the PDFs don't do that. You could always download another program if you want to use PDFs. It's just this particular program doesn't really seem to work well with PDFs. The other format that we did try on here was EPUB, and EPUB opens up in its own little like window. We can scroll down and go through and read the book that way. That's pretty cool. And also it gives you this nice little list here of what you've read. I think, can you mark these differently? You can also remove them as well, edit the metadata, and if you've got a big hard drive of books, this software could be really useful for you. So as I mentioned before, we also have the VLC player. I haven't actually got anything on this system that we can play, but I thought I'd just show it anyways, just because VLC is great for watching your video files, so you would watch anime on this. And of course we have the Firefox web browser, which we can also use to do everything that you'd want to do on the web. You can also install some other browsers, like maybe you want to install a Chromium browser or something like that, but we can go to YouTube, and as you can see here, we can watch YouTube videos, of course. I don't know why anyone would think you wouldn't, but I'm showing you anyways. As you can see here, we're playing one of my videos in the browser. There's tons you can do with Linux. Like I said, it's great for using on older hardware. So one of the more weird things on this version of Ubuntu or Ubuntu is the profile pictures that you can choose from. As you can see here, I've selected like a furry one. I don't think these are actually like licensed anime like pictures, like profile pictures if you will. I think these just are generic ones, people's OCs maybe, stuff like that. You can see we can have the cat, there's a dog, there's all these furry ones, along with the anime ones, and I think these top 3 rows are probably just the generic like Ubuntu ones, and they probably just left those installed. But you see, we can change that there. That's one of the other cool little things with this. But overall, in conclusion, like this operating system is a really good version of Ubuntu, especially for people who are Weeaboos and Weebs. This is a good choice. It's also a good choice for all the hardware, if you want to get some use out of maybe an older laptop or something like that. But yeah, what do you guys think of this operating system? Would you use it? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below, and I'll see you next time.